All right, all right. We are live. We are live. This is African King Academy. One sec, I gotta change. I gotta change the name. Academy. Before I forget.
Academy, I feel like we've graduated, King. We're not academies, we're alphas here.
No, no, no. It's a place of learning and understanding. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but I do enjoy wrestling. I'm here with AGASTYA. We are going to be talking about Saturday night main event, obviously behind me, and Evolution. But before we begin, AGASTYA, how are you doing today?
Good, yeah, you're right. Honestly, fair point. I stand corrected. It's a place for learning. It's not a place for legends to talk. Although we are legends, so I give us that. I'm doing good. We just did a show on Rumble. We did a politics show. We discussed basically the topics that are filling the room up, the elephants in the room of politics. It's called Authentic World Analysis. So for anyone watching the show, I highly recommend request you guys to check out Authentic World Analysis for unfiltered, unabashed, and I guess unparalleled commentary on the world of politics. And apart from that, King, you and I am on WWE. We got a lot to discuss, but first and foremost, bias aside, no bias at all, simply just partial analysis. OTC, the savior of WWE is back. All right, King, over to you.
Before we get to that, because that was the last thing. We'll go step by step. We'll start
Sorry.
with Saturday night main event, step by step, step by step. Let me present this. Uh, this show was lack of a better term, underwhelming. Underwhelming. You know the that meme. I expected really bad, but man, it was even worse. But we'll go through it. First match, Randy versus Drew. Um, I think the best thing about this match is when Drew hit Jelly Roll with a what's his thing with the Claymore. But
Claymore. Yep.
when he hit him directly in the face with that Claymore. But how did you feel about Saturday Night Main Event, the first match?
Honestly, I don't want to disrespect underwhelming. The word underwhelming deserves a lot more respect than that, King. Come on. No, it's a shit show. Sorry for the profanity, but it's a shit show. I have to be honest. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, great. They are two superstars that are A tier, no doubt in my mind. But man, when you combine Logan Paul and Jelly Roll in a tag match, really, this is the first SummerSlam we're talking about. At the end of the day, King, I can't really talk about Saturday Night Main Event about this match because the whole purpose of this match was a filler for SummerSlam, right? The first ever SummerSlam, the first ever 2 night SummerSlam. So the fact that Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, your premier A-listers, among your premier A-listers, and then when you feature them with Jelly Roll and Logan Paul, which by the way, Logan Paul, everyone, if you've been watching the show, you know I am hyper complimentary of Logan Paul. I I believe in Logan Paul. I think he's so humble. I think he's such a humble superstar. I think he's a tremendous superstar as well. But honestly, a tag team match, really, and then Jelly Roll, who I don't listen to his music, King. I don't know about you. I don't listen to Jelly Roll's music, but WWE SummerSlam, the first 2 night SummerSlam, it should be the manifestation, should be the personification of brilliance, of excellence. To have a tag team match between these two is a waste of talent. It's a waste of time. So honestly, King, if you ask me, 8 minutes and 26 seconds according to Wikipedia. Yeah, man, I think that was quite ridiculous.
Yeah. It was basically just a way to facilitate a tag team match that I think no one really wants to see. I think Drew deserves more. For me personally, I said it while watching it. That he deserved more than this. For me, him personally, he's world championship caliber material. His performances over the years, his work with CM Punk as well. I just think he just deserves more. I think it's a kind of thing of you look at it and you ask yourself, okay, this is one of the big four pay per views. Why him? Why? Because if you haven't got anything for him, just put him on the sideline then. Because Randy makes sense to be involved in something like this because he's coming towards the end of his career. You don't reduce him in any way. He's done everything that needs to be done in wrestling. Drew hasn't. There's things Drew that still needs to be done. There's titles still need to be earned. He hasn't won a proper championship, with real fans like that. Had his proper reign, had his proper light in the sunshine moment. His title came. Well, his main title came during the COVID era, and reality is he deserves more. Honestly, he deserves more. He he failed with the Money in the Bank. He didn't really do much with that. That didn't lead him to anything that he should have been, and I feel like they've been underutilizing him for the longest. And it shows in the match. It shows in the absolutely terrible build up. Adding Jelly Roll, there is a place for celebrity matches, but use other talent with it. This is the type of match where it should have been Miz with Logan Paul. This is a Miz match. This is a Miz spot. That's what that spot is, where you put the guy that you love to hate in. That's the spot that he would be put in. Drew is bigger than this for me, and I felt like that's what kind of annoys me with this match. I mean, them two can have a good match, and I think the tag team match will be a good match as well because they are three of those superstars are elite level, including Logan Paul. Everything he's put out in terms of a wrestling performance has been of that level. And to be honest, I would say this: the one time I saw Jelly Roll actually do a choke slam in WrestleMania, it was a really good one. He did it one handed. But he's a big brother, so he needs to kind of, lose some weight. He needs to, get in the gym. He needs to actually train for this because he the rolls are the ones that are on his stomach, and if Jelly Roll wants to be a part of this, he needs to get to the level in which he can at least put in a good performance. But yeah, that's all I got to really say about that. Next up was the match of the night, to be honest. A very good match. Obviously, Jacob Fatu came at the end as well to beat up on his family members or the MFTs. How did you feel about this match? In all honesty.
Yeah, I know you clipped a segment of my analysis previewing this match between Solo and Jimmy, so I appreciate that, King. Like genuinely. I enjoyed it. I mean, I agree with you. I have to be honest here. I'm gonna come clean with all of you guys watching this show. I did not watch SNME in full. I saw highlights of it, but this match did seem quite entertaining. Obviously, it featured the most men involved in it, so of course, in terms of hecticness, in terms of chaoticness, it would be the most compelling. Yeah, good. Solo retained. I agree. I agree with that decision. Don't discount the fact that Jimmy Uso may win a singles title sooner rather than later. I do believe HHH, because he's given Jey Uso a title, not just a title, both singles titles, the mid card and the invincible, okay, the premier title, the World Heavyweight Championship. I do believe HHH is quite the man that's saying for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. So if Jey Uso won a singles title, Jimmy Uso will also win a singles title. So don't discount that, but it's good. It's good because it enhances the narrative, and we'll see what happens in SummerSlam with the Timu bloodline. Yeah, let me be generous. Let me call it the Timu bloodline. So, good match, good entertainment. The best part of the Saudi pay-per-view for me, this whole bloodline fiasco, I enjoyed it because they brought in what is his actual name? JC Mateo. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The bar was pretty low for SNME though.
Yeah, it was. It was. Obviously, they've introduced Talatonga, the Solo Sikoa and his MFTs. Obviously, he, a typical Solo Sikoa match. They get involved. He gets the win, but then at the end, I think you get the big surprise of Jacob Fatu coming through and destroying everyone. He came through with the shiesty, and he wrecked house. And I think going forward, him and Jimmy probably need a couple more members. it'll be interesting to see where Tamatonga goes, because Tamatonga was alongside Jacob Fatu for the most part initially, especially when Solo got injured and then came back, or when he walked away. I should say, not injured. So I'll be interested if Tamatonga joins his Tongan brothers under the MFTs, or he joins up with Jimmy and Jacob. So if Tamatonga joins Solo's MFTs, and let's say those are the 5 men, it leads to believe that it needs to be a Survivor Series match, a 5-on-5. So who are the 3 additions that Jacob, Fatu, and Jimmy are gonna add? It's looking like it may be Jay. So you bring back the Usos versus the Gorillas of Destiny. That makes sense. Who are these 2 extra members will they bring? I think Roman Reigns is too big for this at the moment. So you look around and maybe look at Lance Noy, who is in the PC signed by WWE, not really doing much, and another guy that's in the indie scene in Zilla Fatu, who is someone you can introduce and add to the roster as well. So there are options going forward with this storyline, and I think this was the most intriguing moment of the pay-per-view and the most entertaining. We move on to LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, there was an injury towards the end of that match, which stopped it from going any further than it did, and it led to an audible, a change with LA Knight winning with his finisher. But Augustia, how do you feel about that? Obviously, Seth Rollins injured. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. It's unfortunate, your knee
Yes.
goes like that.
So based on all the sources that I'm hearing from corroborating it, it seems like it's 4 to 5 months at the minimum. That's what Seth Rollins is out for. It's a tragedy. I personally believe Seth Rollins is one of the greatest superstars of all time in terms of pure ability, in terms of apex, in terms of accomplishments, in terms of impact. I think Seth Rollins is best of the best. I think he's up there. I think he's the Shawn Michaels. I think he's the Randy Orton. I think he's really up there in terms of influence. But Seth Rollins is injured. That's a shame. Get well soon, Seth. Truly, get well soon. As the man who's met you, get well soon. But honestly here, King, I have to be brutally honest here. I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think it's a great opportunity for WWE to pivot because, frankly, this faction, I'm just going to call it Vision, Seth, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, really? It's been 4 months. It's been almost 4 months since WrestleMania. We're at SummerSlam nearly. This faction hasn't clicked yet. Hasn't clicked at all. As a matter of fact, hasn't even made contact with me. I don't even feel it yet. It feels so forced. And Seth Rollins, to me, honestly, is better as a resistance guy or as a guy who's in complete autonomy and authority. So, yeah, I know Seth had a bunch of feuds with literally everyone in the division, but it gives WWE a blessing in disguise to pivot, and I hope this gives WWE the chance to uplift Braun Breaker, to uplift Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman can hopefully uplift them to above and beyond as well. So LA Knight defeating Seth Rollins, good win for LA Knight. He deserves it. He finally deserves a big win. He should have won Money in the Bank at least one of the last 3 years and continuing. But good win for him. He is fully right to be upset as he was in his promo on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, honestly, WWE pivot. It's time to pivot, and when Seth Rollins comes back, build him up to be imperious, but build him up to allow the OTC to take him down as well. So that's what I say, King. Get well soon, Seth Rollins, though, first and foremost, because you are the premier personification of a WWE superstar.
As a Seth Rollins hater, yeah, I predicted this moment. I wanted this moment. I believe, like Drew said, I wish for this moment. Yeah,
wow,
that's right.
all the diplomacy I just did. You're like the Trump to the Trump administration. I'm joking.
No. In all honesty, it's unfortunate when a man like Seth Rollins does go down. It allows for a pivot. I think the most benefactory person out of this will be Braun Breaker because he'll be the main guy of that group. So I think him alongside Paul Heyman is gonna be the most positive part of it. I think that's when you look at it and say, okay, yeah, that's gonna be the thing that I look at and say, okay, cool. Um, what next? What next for the group? And I think with Braun Breaker, after his performance on Raw as well, you can see he is the next big thing, as Paul Heyman said. He's the next star, so you can start to build him up as well. And eventually, when Seth Rollins does come back, that allows for extra tension within the group, because when you have a bunch of alphas in a group, that leads to the tension that can lead to further storylines and as you say, pivot from what was originally intended. In regards to LA Knight, it was a good win for him, but at the same time, after seeing what happened on Raw as well, I don't think there's anything more for him. I feel like he should have, for me personally, I think he should have been the man to win the Money in the Bank, and I will say this to the heavens. I think he should have been the man to carry that briefcase, because I don't think Seth needed it. I don't think it adds to Seth in any way. If anything, it's just a distraction more than anything. So for me, I feel like LA Knight was shafted in terms of having a poor quality match, and shafted in terms of anything he does going forward. I don't think there is no plan for him, which is unfortunate. And it leads on to the final match now. With a Saturday night main event, there's a couple issues I have in outside of this final match. A lot of how would you say, ad breaks, a lot of breaks in between the moments. This being Goldberg's final retirement match, I think it was an okay match. It was better than expected. It lasted a bit longer than a couple minutes. It wasn't the beatdown I wanted. Obviously, Goldberg got offense in. I didn't like some of it because it did make Gunther look a bit weak as well. When he's meant to be this dominant heel champion, it did make him look a bit weak at end parts. An old man shouldn't be taking some of the hits he's taken from Gunther, and walking through them like he's still, in the 90s. And I would say this: it was an okay final match. There's not much else I can say. It was kind of disrespectful the way they cut the show during his retirement speech. But as a hater of Goldberg, I loved every minute of that. Oldberg, yeah, you didn't deserve a proper speech anyway. I'm glad you're retired. I'm never gonna see you on the screen again. Your son does deserve to be wrestling though, because your son is a very big boy. So I would say this: he definitely has a future in the business if he decides to roll through. I think if anything, I just wanted to see Gunther versus his son more than anything. That looked like a more better appealing matchup than Oldberg. But Augustia, as we end Saturday night main event, you'll probably have a more positive opinion on this. But go ahead, let the people know how you felt about that main event of the Saturday night main event.
The people. Hashtag King wants nepotism. King is the number one nepo guy. He wants Goldberg's son to be against Gunther in the main event as SMNE. How can you trust what King says above? Nah, I'm just joking, guys. Yeah, look, I had a more positive impression because obviously for me, I'm younger. King, I have to bring this up. I'm so sorry. You're more mature, but I'm younger. I am like almost 2 decades younger than you. I think I am, yeah, because I'm still a teenager. So, for me, I've seen Goldberg against like the Lesners and the Takers in my generation. So, as someone who's seen Goldberg here, it was nice seeing a flash in the past for me personally. But I agree with you. I think it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. And for Gunther's reign has been a mockery. Every time Gunther has been champion, it's been a parody. Whereas Jey Uso, it's been like, oh my God, let's coddle him. He's the Pookie Bear. He's the precise guy of my generation. So, yeah, I think it was a waste of time. And what they did to Goldberg with the retirement speeches and the ad breaks, preposterous, or as someone would say, patheticism. It was completely ridiculous what they did with Goldberg. So I hope my biggest takeaway is Goldberg, good, you had your retirement in your hometown. Cena, John Cena, I know you're retiring on SNME. I know you're retiring in mid-December. Please, please force the WWE in some way. Leverage your power. Do not have a retirement. Do not have a retirement that is plagued with commercialism, with the corporatocracy. Please don't do that, okay? I do not want you to have a retirement speech with ad breaks. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, Gunther retains, and I think that segues us very well into Gunther's SummerSlam plans with what happened on the Raw following it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, that was a Saturday night main event. Forgettable. That's what I would say. Forgettable.
Ouch.
But we move. It is what it is. Goldberg, farewell, so long. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Adieu to you and you and you. Yeah, no, great, a great career, a great career. But thank God it's over.
Favorite career ever.
Oh hell no.
King has posters of Goldberg secretly behind him. He's not showing you the front of his camera because he has posters of Goldberg.
Oh, never. That would never be me. I'm trying to find the right.
Okay, good. So that means, King, I know when you're getting kidnapped. Or I mean, God forbid you don't. But I mean, if you get kidnapped, like I know if you talk about Goldberg positively, that's your cue, right?
Oh no. If I get kidnapped, if they want me to say anything, just replay Goldberg matches.
Great. Thank you for that. I'll know that, and everyone in the chat will know that as well.
I thought this would have worked better, but it's what it is. Oh, Evolution. That's what we're talking about next. Evolution. Let me present the full pay-per-view. And now this was the pay-per-view that I would say showcased the talent of the women really well.
Of the WWE.
Yes. I enjoyed it watching it. I enjoyed it very much. So, from the start to finish, I think for the most part it was a good show. There was some disappointing matches. I would say that, but for the most part, I loved it. So SME of BS. Yes, it was. It was BS. It was BS. But Evolution was a bit of fun. And you know what's worse about SNME of how bad it was? It was during All In as well. So All In being at the same time when you have Elite Wrestling and then you have BS on the other side, it's just like, come on, man. But it is what it is. Did anything else happen? It was Oh yeah, I would say this as well. Based on the Saturday wrestling, NXT's pay-per-view was good as well. Obviously, we're not talking on this, but NXT continues to be for me the best thing for kind of seeing the future and what their talents hold. So I would also say this: if you have a chance to, NXT pay-per-view was really good as well. But Evolution. First match, Becky Lynch, Bailey, Lyra Valkyria. Becky retains. Overall, a good match. How do you feel about Becky retaining on your behalf, and obviously what happened into the Raw?
I feel like a prophet. King, I said this after WrestleMania on this show. I think it's going to be a 3-match program between Becky and Lyra, and Bailey will be involved in the last match. That's what I said, and I've been vindicated completely on that, except on the outcome. Because if it was me booking it, I would have had Lyra win the championship. Because I think it's about time we empower and uplift the new generation. But honestly, King, I agree with you. Apart from that, Becky Lynch is one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So kudos to her. But if it was me, I would have had Lyra retain because I think Lyra has shown some good work. And honestly, at the end of the year, as I did in my pro wrestling sim, I would have turned Lyra Valkyrie heel.
Fair enough. I think they're having Lyra as the face. The only thing I would say about this is that Bailey did take the pin. I think they've done Bailey very bad in terms of this match and the matchup because obviously afterwards, after this on Raw, Bailey and Lyra Valkyria had a brilliant 2 out of 3 falls match, which Lyra Valkyria won, meaning that going into SummerSlam it's going to be Becky versus Lyra again. So maybe that might be the moment where they kind of put her over, put her into the next level, maybe give her the starlight on one of the bigger pay-per-views. But in terms of this match, I think it was a great way to start. It was fast-paced. It was really nice to kind of see what these ladies could do. I just feel sorry for Bailey. I think they didn't really need her in this, in the sense of it feels like they use her as just a way to uplift others when she should be the one being uplifted, in my opinion. I would have rather had Bailey go on to win and have a heel Bailey versus a face Lyra Valkyria going into SummerSlam, because I don't think Becky is needed for the IC title match. I think Bailey versus Lyra would have been something different. Because we've seen Becky Lyra Valkyrie already a couple times, and that's just the only issue I have with that first match. Other than that, I think it was really good for the most part, and yeah, and nothing else I could complain about that first. We move on to the NXT Women's Championship match second, JC Jane versus Jordan Grace. Obviously, all the mischief in the world with Fallen Helen and Jasmine Nix. For me, the ending was predictable in the sense of we knew that Blake Monroe was going to turn heel at some point. If you've been watching NXT, you know in that even in her run in AEW, she is better as a heel, as Mariah May, and she did what she needed to do. She hit the title on the back of Jordan Grace for her to lose to JC Jane. That allows for storylines going forward. But yeah, I think the NXT women in this match showed up. I think the match with JC Jane and Jordan Grace was really good. Gustia, are you a person that is into NXT at all, or did you get a chance to watch this? And what are your thoughts?
King, I'll just echo everything you said and piggyback off everything you said. That's what I have to say.
Oh, you're not an NXT person. No problem. No problem. It's not for everyone.
Hey, I'm the #1 NXT guy. I have so much to say that if I say it, it'll take up an hour and a half. So, King, all you, man.
No, we can go forever. We can go forever with this. I think with Evolution, there's a lot more to talk about. I think what this pay-per-view showed is that the women deserve more. I was on Zia Talks, and he even said, a person that he works with, Jester, said that maybe even the women deserve to have their own show as a weekly concept, maybe so that they're given more time for people to understand them, get their whys. Because I think a lot of the time with these ladies is that they're great in terms of the wrestling, or they're great with their promo work, but you don't understand their why. You don't get given the opportunity to understand why they're doing what they do. And sometimes if you don't get that why, you don't get to invest in them as much as you do with the men. That's why a tribal chief is, and the bloodline story is so big, because you invest in the individual characters. You invest in the Sami Zayns, the honorary use. You invest in the right hand man to the Yeet man, Jey Uso. You invest into what Jimmy became. You invest into the OTC. You invest into Solo and what he goes further on, because you understand their whys. You continue to learn their story, and I think that's the one thing the ladies deserve to happen. And then we move into the third match. What did you feel about that third match? Obviously, the Judgment Day retaining. Obviously, a couple of the against three different teams. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss teaming up. Sol Ruka and Zarya from NXT, and then the Kabuki Warriors as well. How did you feel about this matchup?
I mean, it's a cute storyline. What the Judgment Day are doing is a cute storyline, but if it was me, I would have given it to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, because they're, should we say frenemies? Is frenemies the correct phrasing? Yeah, I guess adversaries and allies. I like it. I think it's cute. Hopefully they get the tag team titles next. That's what I hope. But apart from that, I didn't watch the match. I just saw some clips. So I mean, it's good. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are good for now. I do think WWE are positioning and posturing themselves for a Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan reunition. That's a new word. I know I just made it up, but a reunition between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I think that's going to happen down the line, but I hope they don't hold on to the title with Raquel and Roxanne Perez, the new AJ Lee, and I hope they give it to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, because that's what I think they will do very, very soon.
Maybe. I just think with the Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss, I think it's a one-time thing. I don't think it's something that they move forward with. Me personally, I think they're better off as individual superstars. The Kabuki Warriors, they're continuing in. They did have a match with Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw as well. So Ruka and Zarya is another kind of mismatched tag team on NXT as well, which are very entertaining. But yeah, I think thinking about it, Judgment Day needed to retain the titles because the storyline is based on the Judgment Day keeping those titles until Liv comes back and how that dynamic changes. And as you said, Liv going over to maybe the good side and joining forces with Rhea at some point to fell against the Judgment Day, and that's what the Judgment Day is. I think it's a group that's gonna continue refreshing its characters within the group and removing people piece by piece. Um, and I think in this run, they're gonna remove Liv Morgan. Maybe Dominic Mysterio gets moved on as well, and they start refreshing again. You never know. I feel like that's what's gonna happen next, and we'll see how this kind of goes on into the next. Now we get the women's championship match between Tiffany and Trish, and for me, a very short match, very underwhelming match. How did you feel about this match going into it, and this match in general?
I'm just gonna search up right now. How old is Trish Stratus? I just want to see this. She's 49. Fair play, man. Fair play, girl. Sorry, let me correct myself. Fair play. Some of the moves she sold, fair play. Honestly, quite impressive for someone who's 49 years of age, and trying to impress their kids. Good win for Tiffy. I think it bolsters her resume here, and it bolsters her ethos and credibility as the one of the faces of WWE, not just the women's division, but WWE in general. It's a good match. I think it was good that it happened because obviously we had the team up at Elimination Chamber, which in my opinion, the best pay-per-view of the year so far, hands down, not even close. So yeah, kudos to Tiffy. Good win to Trish Stratus, and we will see what Tiffany Stratton does at SummerSlam.
Yeah. I just think it was just routine. I think it was just for Trish probably just to wrestle in front of her family and friends, and I think it's probably the last time we're gonna see her in a wrestling ring. I feel like her generation just needs to become uh if they are to come back, it's more in terms of managerial roles, in terms of those who just to hype up others rather than to be a part of these matches. Just because of how quick that match is, I feel like it's good for Tiffany, but at the same time, it's just more. It just adds to her story rather than anything else than that. But we move to the next match: Jade Cargill, Naomi, in a no holds barred match. And for me, this was the most underwhelming match of the whole show. Uh, the reason I say this is it was a no holds barred match, but nothing really went as far as it needed to go. I didn't think it needed Bianca Belair as a special guest referee because I don't think her role in it was anything other than good acting, but it wasn't anything significant that led to anything going forward. And we're gonna get to what happened at the end of the night. It kind of just underwhelmed in the sense of the time length. It didn't actually go into what you expect from this type of match. They never really went into the crowd like that. They never it kind of always half kind of pushed the envelope. They never really went full over. And I feel like this match deserved a bit more time to, especially because of how personal the feud was, for them to kind of hurt each other more than they did. And I understand why they didn't go fully. Obviously, what happens later on, but I just feel like it felt just like it was cut short. At the time, it just didn't feel like a good match. But how do you feel about this match? And obviously, Jade Cargill gets the win.
Yeah, same as you. Honestly, I'll just add on to what you said. This reminds me of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Why? WWE, why? We should have just ended this at WrestleMania. Naomi's heel character is remarkable, and I don't want to foreshadow what we talk about in a few minutes, but she's so much. I hope WWE give her a world title. I think she deserves one. That's all I'll say. So, apart from that, yeah, why are we extending this? Why are we continuing this? I hope they both can go into their own programs. Jade Cargill as the ring and Naomi as the WWE champion. So that's all I'll say here. King on to Stephanie Vacay.
Yeah, and you know what? It was unexpected. I didn't expect for her to be the one, Stephanie Vaquer, to win this battle royal, but it makes sense. But Clash in Paris, you probably need to elevate someone new, and I think Stephanie Vaquer has come in and become really popular, thanks to Booker T and his goonism. But and making that move that everyone loves, so popular, the yeah, and you see the fans do it a lot. But yeah, Stephanie became conquered the battle royale, taking out Lash Legend at the end. For me, Lash Legend is someone that needs to be moved up to the main roster. I think she is someone that's main roster ready, and I think the women's division needs her, and I think she can be a credible heel in a roster that is not filled with them, especially on Raw. But yeah, Stephanie with the big win. She gets her championship match at Clash in Paris. It will be interesting to see who she ends up choosing to face at the end. But yeah, a dominant victory. The only thing I would say about this match is I was expecting maybe a couple more surprises. It just felt like they just carted out every other women available, and they didn't really add anything fresh or new to this. But it was overall a very good match. We did see some good moments. Chelsea Green hilarious as always. But yeah, what was some of your favorite moments of this match, and how you feel about Stephanie winning?
Stephanie winning is great. I mean, I'm just gonna cite my wrestling sim, because at this point I'm almost a year in the future. I'm almost at WrestleMania 42 now, and for me, my matchup was heel Bianca Belair versus Stephanie Vaquer, and Bianca had both world titles. She was like the tribal chief for me. So Stephanie Vaquer, I think, is great. I think they have to turn her into a monster, into a badass, brilliant, brilliant woman superstar, I guess. So that's what I would do with Stephanie Vaquer. She's 100% the right winner. Obviously, with WWE being consumed by the corporate, you always have that stretch of a doubt that, are they going to give Nikki Bella the win? Are they going to give her the win? But no, they gave it to Stephanie Vaquer. So I'm quite thrilled. I'm quite happy with that. And good for her. And I hope she has a great match, whoever she faces off at Evolution. Not Evolution, sorry, my bad, at Clash of Paris. But I do not think she will win that match, whoever she faces off with. But still, good for her. Good for her to plant the seeds for an eventual title championship reign imminently.
100%. You never know. She may win. You never know what could happen by then, who is available by then as well. But we move on to the main event, and I think this is what I expected the no holds barred match to be. It was unreal. This match, from start to finish, brilliant wrestling. The referee goes down at some point during the match. They go to the outside, and they risk it all. And you see the desperation from Rhea as well, because she has a chip on her shoulder. She hasn't beaten Io. She's going for the title. She wants that title back. And over the course of this match, I feel like both Rhea and Io showed the levels that they are at. I think Io carried this match by far. I think she's shown to be the best worker, the best wrestler in WWE's women division. Rhea kept up with her as well, and I like that. And it also planted some seeds for, you never knew who was the face or the heel within the match. It felt like different parts, they playing different characters. They were kind of going off of each other, and the crowd and the way it was kind of how the people were cheering for it. And we got one of the surprises of the night. Heist of the Century Women Edition. Naomi, she told you to proceed with caution, and she came out and she got that briefcase, and she swung it like she meant it. Dashed Rhea into the post, won the title, became the women's world heavyweight champion, her first major title. And you know what? I'm happy that they did that. I'm happy because Raw doesn't have enough heels. I think they needed this. They needed an injection of something different. I think just like her match, her feud with Jade Cargill and Bianca had became stale, and I think Naomi's character deserved more and deserved something different. And I feel like what happened going on to Raw, and her, how people are perceiving her as well, and the way her mannerisms, the way she speaks, the way she has embodied this character, I think it speaks volumes of her as a performer and a wrestler, and I think it's much deserved. But what are your feelings going on to the match? Obviously, praising Io, Rhea, and Naomi winning the title.
Yeah, EO, I have nothing but admiration and reverence for her, not just because the Japanese connection, but I think she's truly one of the premier, the purest, the best wrestlers in the world today. And Rhea Ripley, she is a revelation. She is revered, she is remarkable, she is extraordinary, not just as a wrestler, but as a person. Nothing but respect for Rhea Ripley, and I'm so happy and proud of what her and EO have done for that women's division. But unfortunately, there can only be one. There can only be one for that women's division that reigns supreme, that holds the belt, that is the one, that is the chosen one of that division, and that is Naomi. And as I predicted so accurately a few minutes ago, King, my goodness, Triple H copied everything I said. Naomi, thank fuck. Oh my god, she deserves that belt so much. She has put in such unbelievable and unrivaled work in that division. I could not be happy for her. I cannot wait to see what heel Naomi does, who heel Naomi faces at SummerSlam. So yeah, nothing but respect and admiration for Naomi. Thank you, Triple H. We give you your criticism, but I'll give you your compliment when it's deserved. Triple H, grazie. Muy bien. Well done. Because you picked the right winner, the right match, and the right moment. And Evolution, to me, in my opinion, was the best of the two pay-per-views. Perhaps, I'm not going to say it, but maybe, I sound like Trump when I say it, but maybe it was the best pay-per-view of this weekend. Certainly the best WWE one. So yeah. Congratulations,
Um,
Triple H. You cooked with Evolution.
yeah, for me it was the second best WWE one, and probably for me the third best, because obviously I enjoyed NXT. So if you're just WWE main roster, yes, this was the best pay per view, way better than Saturday Night Main Event. Um, no problem. Way better than Saturday Night Main Event. I think it showcased the talents of all these women. I feel like the only match that I felt was the two matches that were disappointing were the Tiffany match and the Jade Cargill match, but it led to the situation at the end. I think Naomi winning the title was a great way to end the pay per view, and I feel like it added a bit of intrigue. Obviously, there was some sloppy moments in terms of the wrestling quality, but overall, I think it was nothing more than great wrestling, and I feel like for me, Trish will be back. Sadly, yeah. I hope not though. I'll be honest. It's like Goldberg. I think there's a time and a place, and I think the time's up. And for me going forward, I feel like it's a thing of this. This pay per view should be a yearly thing. I feel like the women deserve to have their own show at some point as well. I think we need to be more invested into the women, because the other thing I would say this: if they do another show, make it in Europe, make it somewhere in Europe as well, because the crowd for me wasn't good enough the whole weekend. I think Atlanta, as a crowd, was, I'll be honest, terrible. I'm gonna lie to you. There was not one pay per view where I felt that they were truly there. The American crowds for me are very weak, and for the next evolution, put it somewhere in Europe, put it in England, put it in Spain, Germany, France, somewhere over there, and allow for it to be in maybe in somewhere in the UK. I think next evolution should be in the UK. Don't wait 7 years for the next one. Have it be a yearly pay-per-view, and don't put it on a Sunday either. Put it on a Saturday. Have its own weekend. Give it time to be able to promote these storylines. Actually give them a why, maybe have their own show, maybe whether it be on Twitter or on actual TV, and actually make Evolution a yearly pay per view that is put on the right places. Because for me, the crowd didn't allow for this pay per view just to be bigger than it was. Same with NXT and SNME. So I will say this: great wrestling for the most part, some underwhelming points, but Evolution was um the best WWE main roster show, better than SNME. And yeah, if you did like NXT, then you would like NXT as well. I think NXT is something that a lot of more people need to plug into, because I think their pay per views have been solid as well. I don't think HBK has had any misses when it's come to his pay per views as well. And yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just happy for the ladies that they got their moment to shine, and they did it the right way this time. I think it was a lot better than the first evolution for me, and this is the level that needs to happen. And I think just give them more time and more momentum, and put it on a Saturday. That's what I would say to end. Uh, and going on to Raw, obviously the number one contender for Gunther's title is CM Punk. Uh, we will quickly just talk about that Raw main event. First of all, Jey Uso, you're a fool. How are you running it back to do yeets mid match twice? Not once, but twice. Man did the yeet, yeet, and he did it mid match twice. He's a fool. But uh, pretty much what's his name? Braun Breaker ran the gauntlet till CM Punk. Obviously, we got the return of the OTC. But how did you feel about the Raw and everything that was involved in that? Before we go,
I just threw my headphones because the only headmaster of WWE is Roman Reigns, in my opinion. OTC, welcome back, Roman Reigns. It's so good to see you. Now, you can call him part-timer. You can call him, hey, someone that is a superstar, is a Hollywood superstar. You can make the case soon. But honestly, I could not be more grateful and glad that Roman Reigns is back. Frankly, WWE since TKO has turned into the corporatocracy. It is a manifestation, it is a personification of what is happening in the real world. WWE is a reflection of culture. Culture is a reflection of what is happening around the globe, specifically in the United States, specifically in the West. And what is happening in the West, as we talk about when we discuss authentic world analysis, is crony capitalism and corporatocracy capturing all the integrity, all the morality, all the ethicality. And the only person, in my opinion, or not the only person, but the person who has excelled the most in these confined restrictions in the TKO WWE era is Roman Reigns. And that's not a subjective fact, that's an objective fact. Because when you talk about reach, when you talk about ratings, when you talk about revenue, Roman is second to none. He is the one. Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, as the OTC, whether it's the reception of the crowd, whether it's the perception of the crowd, Roman Reigns is the one that captivates and captures the audience. So, honestly, I'm so glad to hear Roman Reigns back because he's the only one that Triple H and Co. seem to be able to book properly. Because they seem to be able to book him, optimize him, and not just optimize him to the competitive narrative, but also to the commercial narrative. So I'm so glad Roman is back. CM Punk versus Gunther, it's the best matchup, man. It's gonna be cinema. They had a matchup on a house show a couple months ago. Honestly, I can't wait for it. Regardless of the result, both of those are gonna push each other to the limit. That could be an all-timer feud, the feud of the year. I'm really going that far. And in terms of Roman Reigns, real quick, OTC number one, I think they're paving the way for OTC number one versus QB number one. Roman Reigns as I guess, an anti-hero versus Cody Rhodes, who is a heel. That's what they're doing, Homelander. And I can't wait for it. Roman, Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. That's what they're shaping and aiming for. Do I like that? I don't hate it, but I don't love it because I think Roman deserves to be in a singles matchup. The same with Braun Breaker. But honestly, I am just so glad Roman Reigns is back because him alongside Cody Rhodes to an extent seem to be the only two superstars they are able to book properly and precisely.
yeah, and it feels like they had to pivot the introduction of him. Obviously, there's rumors that it would be Saturday night main event, but because of the Seth Rollins injury, you have to pivot, and I think they pivoted in a good enough way. And I think going forward, I feel like the world championship picture is decent. The WWE title championship picture is okay as well. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks because I feel like for the most part, WWE has been a shadow of itself. I think for the most part, in terms of the general pay-per-view quality, has been poor, and I think SummerSlam needs to elevate itself to a different level because as much as you can say that Gunther and CM Punk will be a great match, on the other hand, you get a Randy Orton Jelly Roll versus Drew and Logan. Obviously, Cena Cody for the undisputed WWE title match as well. We will see. We will see how big SummerSlam will be. Will it live up to the quality that it needs to? Will it live up to the level that it needs to? And we will see if WWE can continue at least the positive momentum on the women's side through Evolution. Saturday night main event wasn't it. NXT still looks to be the better pay-per-views for the main roster in terms of when it comes to both men and women. But I am happy to say that Evolution was a good show, and I the only issue I do have is it was on a Sunday. The only other issue I have is that WWE needs to stop doing this. I think they need to stop putting their shows around AEW events. I understand this is a TKO issue. 2 day SummerSlam, they're gonna botch and run it back again, the same location. Yeah, they're pretty much their plans are to make all the big 4 2 days. So your Rumbles, your SummerSlams, your WrestleMania, your what's the other one? Survivor Series 2 days. So a 2 day SummerSlam is gonna be interesting. The matches they come up with. Because the thing about the 2 day show is that Sunday isn't the best day for most people to watch wrestling. People got work the Monday, especially if you live in outside of America, especially the timings of it. So the second day has to be worthwhile watching for you to want to watch it, and then the first day needs to kind of be something that allows you to kind of get involved or happy to be there to be a part of it. So it's a kind of they need to allow for SummerSlam to have a FOMO to it, because then you watch it live, you be a part of it rather than it be a show that you're looking at, you're like, you know what, I can watch it the next day, or you know what, I'll watch it on the Tuesday or Wednesday the following week, after the Raw and stuff, because I don't care as much, because you're not giving me matches that I can, bite my teeth into, that I can actually have a good time with. And I feel like for the most part, the majority of the matches on the card are good, but then you see a Randy Jelly Roll Drew logo, and it just kind of like, it's like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back with the way they're doing things for me. But how do you feel about what they're doing with the 2 day SummerSlam and the way WWE is going as a whole?
It's the corporatocracy, King. Everything I said in my last answer, it's the corporatocracy. WWE is just a reflection of every other major sporting entity, from the Premier League all the way to the NBA. It's captured by corporate, and it's profit over actual purpose, principle, and the personal relationship with the fans.
100%, 100%. And I feel like that's gonna be the downfall of WWE, and I think that will probably be what AEW capitalizes off of, and other companies as well. But especially AEW will capitalize that they will be the ones for the fans, and WWE will be a more corporate experience. But I think that's all we have for today. This has been the review of a Saturday Night Main Event of Evolution, of also of a bit of Raw as well, and what's going to be going forward into as we make our road to SummerSlam. I may come out with another video talking about the NXT pay-per-view if I feel like it, but most likely not. But that's been it. There's nothing much else. Wait, WWE gotta watch their quantity quality ratio. Seems like they're writing just to cripple competition comparison to bring up new. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much the issue that they have at there. It's too much quantity, not enough quality, and not enough opportunity as well. Because if you look at it like a carrying cross. The fans are behind him, but they're not giving him the platform to succeed. They're not giving these guys that are getting over organically to succeed, because they're too busy and tunnel visioned with what they want in terms of what they think makes money. And I still have an issue with what they're doing with the corporate stuff, in terms of I think the things on the mat, there's too many at times. I don't like the fact that there's Slim Jims on the tables. I don't like they got crosses the second eye is much similar. Yeah, but they're not doing anything right with him at the moment. So hopefully that continues, and maybe he gets the backing if he continues to be a high merch seller. But we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes WWE have a history of, even if you're a high merch seller or a high, in with the audience, that you still get treated wrong. AKA Zack Ryder, for example. But we'll see what they do going forward. And yeah, there's not much else really to say. WWE's I think in terms of the last couple of years, in terms of this Triple H TKO era, probably at its for me lowest sort of point, and maybe the return of Roman might be the way, the redemption arc that it needs to get back to where it goes. Exactly. So why got Slim Jim on the goddamn? I see. That's the thing. That is the issue I have. You know, you get like you get advertisements on the Money in the Bank briefcase, on the tables, on the chairs, on the ladders, on everything at this point.
It's the corporatocracy, and enjoy that in every single sport you watch, guys.
Will Brock ever come back? Unfortunately, he is in a case that we cannot talk about, and as long as he is part of that case, I don't think he's coming back. Just like Triple H said in a press conference, Brock is being Brock, somewhere in North Dakota, you know, wrestling animals or something. I don't know, whatever he does.
Meanwhile, I love how we talk about all the most craziest stories on Authentic World Analysis. So for those watching, please check out our channel on Authentic World Analysis, where King and I delve through what the fuck is going on in the world.
Never say never, WWE. Yeah, that's true. Listen, Brock will come back once his name is cleared. Or once there's enough time where people will forget about his name being a part or associated with that issue. Because WWE, in terms of TKO, they are very corporate, but they know where the money is, and Brock Lesnar brings money. Because and TKO know better than most. UFC money, WWE money. Big up Rasta, big up Rasta,
Legend in the chat.
big up Rasta. I'll be on a show with him tomorrow, so look forward to that. But yeah, probably 11 p.m. around that time, 11, 12 p.m. Late on.
If I'm up, 100% going to tune in. But to those watching, subscribe to both King and Rasta as well.
Yeah. Like the video, subscribe. This is the review, as I said, of Snme Evolution Raw, and yeah, we will be doing this bi-weekly or after every big major pay-per-view, before major pay-per-views.
Wait, can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah,
I forgot something. I just remembered it. Charles Robinson, my full kudos to you. Charles Robinson has taken such major falls in the last few weeks from John Cena and Goldberg. King, did you hear about what happened to him? His ribs are broken because the spear that Goldberg gave him. So he has broken ribs.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You know what was funny? The meme was, there was a meme of someone looking like this, and they said, "Don't tell, don't tell
Bret Hart.
Don't tell Bret Hart. Don't tell Bret Hart."
So honestly, so yeah.
Okay. Sometimes something on my guy tells me Seth Rollins is a work, it'll cash in Money Bank. Some CM Punk beats come for. I don't think it's a work. I
mean, it might be, but if it's a work, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't think it's a work, because the way he rolled on his ankle beforehand, if you actually watch the video of him, he doesn't injure it the second time. It's the first thing action he does, and then the second time it just makes it worse. Smash the likes, people. Yes, smash the likes. So but we'll see. We'll never, you never know with WWE. They like to, do craziness. When even seen Roman, he's getting clipped.
Yo, Hall of Fame. Honestly, Charles Robinson to the Hall of Fame. Hashtag Charles Robinson to the Hall of Fame. Let's start this movement, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but but Bret Hart is right. Von Goldberg, anyway. But I'm happy he retired, and to be honest with you, I'm happy that they ended the show on his retirement speech. Cut him off early. Oldberg, he ain't no G anyway.
Elder abuse.
Anyway, this has been the review show. Thank you for everyone for joining in. Dams, Rasta Stocks. Yeah, road to 100. No worries. Dorian as well. Thank you for your questions and comments. And yeah, we're out, people. Peace.
Deuces.
Von Goldberg.